The conveyors we build to last. Because we all love changing conveyors every couple of years, right? No. We want them to last. We want them to wash cars. We want them to do it without breaking down in the middle of your busiest day of the month. You want to stay open. You want to stay making money. That's what these conveyors are built to do.
I notice that you build your conveyors in sections. Tell me what's so important about building your conveyors in sections and why that is important for your customers out there.
Yes, I build like the drives and take-ups as a 10-foot section, but they're actually two 5-foot parts. I build the drives and take-ups in a 5-foot section and then a 5-foot transition piece. It gets you up to the shallower center sections, so they'll fit most conveyors. The reason why I build the ends in a 5-foot section is the ends are what are going to take the majority of your wear. They're the pieces that after 15 years of production, you might decide you want to change just that, but the rest of it is in great shape. So then you'd be able to just pull out 5 feet at the drive, 5 feet at the take-up, drop in new pieces, and have another conveyor go for another 15 years.
Now, earlier you told me about the steel that you put on top of these conveyors. Tell me why it is so important to have that extra thickness of steel on top of that conveyor.
Yes, in my 30-plus years doing maintenance, most of the conveyors I saw fail, it was the top deck that failed. The grit, the rollers and tires rolling over the grit and everything just wore through the top deck, wore it thin, it collapsed, cars started falling through. We're patchworking the top deck. Everybody's seen it, but nobody likes it. I start off with 1/2-inch thick angle iron for the structure of it, then add another 1/2 inch on the very top deck of the conveyor to give you a full thickness of 1 inch thick.
Okay, and if you'll point again to that thickness.
Yeah, so you've got a 1/2 inch underneath and another 1/2 inch on top. They're welded every foot, up top and underneath, every foot for a 2-inch weld. So they're down solid. But, like I say, with grit and everything does wear. When these get down thin, you can cut these welds loose, drop down a new piece. You're still full thickness, and you're back to full thickness, back to 1 inch thick again.
The initial part of the conveyor, you talked about building in a 5-foot section, and that is a cost savings to your customer too, because they don't have to replace the whole conveyor belt. Is that correct?
Well, some places you're replacing a 10-foot to replace a driver take-up, and why do you have to? All the workings are at the very end. So I make it where you can just replace the last 5 feet of the conveyor, or the first 5 feet of the conveyor. Then all your crucial components are changed, and the center sections are really built to last even longer.
I believe you told me there's a particular car wash that you have your conveyor that you designed how many years ago, and it's still in operation today?
We had our Orem, Utah location. That was the first conveyor I built. We put that in. It went for 15 years, washed 6 million cars. We just recently transitioned that into this conveyor for them. That one I originally built with just a 1/2-inch deck, nothing else added to it, and it was the 1/2-inch deck that wore thin.
When you said how many years did this operate?
It ran for 15 years with that conveyor.
What's the normal wear time?
They can change from location to location based off the number of cars they're washing, as well as what kind of environment they're in. If they have really gritty, dirty cars or really clean cars. Location did 200 cars an hour all day, every day.
It's just built to last.
Built to last. And like I say, I took the things I learned from building that first one and improved on this one.
So Dave, you tell me that you've built this deck. It's reinforced. You start with angle iron. You build it in sections so that people can modulate and replace it as they wear out or whatever over the years, which could save them thousands of dollars. And if they're budget minded and they're a small business owner, they definitely want to have the ability to be able to do that, right? If their budget only has so much in it.
Yep. Yeah, you don't want to have to replace the whole conveyor just because the ends wore out. Like I say, ends wore out, but you're talking years down the road, not months.
Definitely in the long run, it's a lot of cost savings for your clients. I think it's so important that people understand that this is not your average Joe conveyor. This is something that you put a lot of love, passion, and time in to make sure that your customers get their money's worth when you're building this conveyor. Anything to add to that, sir?
It's not the cheapest conveyor out there, and you don't want the cheapest. The cheapest will leave you broke down on busy days. It'll leave you losing money on busy days. You want to stay open, you want to stay in operation, and you want to go for a long period of time. You don't want to be changing it out every few years. You want to be changing it out every few decades. So that's what this conveyor is built to do.
So the money you save on maintenance costs is going to make itself up in the long run by paying a little extra money now and saving yourself a lot of headache later.
Yes, routine maintenance, greasing bearings, these larger double tapered roller bearings, you only need to grease those once a month. You don't have to grease them every week. You can if you choose to, but you're going to do them once a month. Instead of 2 or 3 shots of grease in there, you're going to be doing 10 or 12. So yeah, he's going to be putting the same amount of grease in there, less frequent. Your maintenance guy is now freed up to go and do all those other jobs you've always been asking him to do.
Excellent. Well, hey, thank you for your time. I think this is a great idea and a very good quality product. If anybody needs to contact Dave, he can be contacted at...
You can contact me through our website at davesvictoryfab.com or dave@davesvictoryfab.com.
And you'll see it right behind him. There is the website, davesvictoryfab.com. You'll love his product. Dave's an awesome guy, and I think that whoever buys one of these conveyors is going to be extremely happy with the quality of work. Yeah, don't forget to order one of the chain pullers. I think that is one of the best ideas for this particular type of product. Get yours through Dave at his website, and I'm sure you'll be happy with that.
Thank you.